Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda Hero, Psych Defender of the Fatherland. Off it 1v1 on Amilly Fields in the north. It is a NightRaven fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here with the 6th Armored Division, tasked with pushing back the Germans and handing them back to the borders of Germany. Here with the Recon Support Rifle Company and Airborne Company south of this, Acehiro fighting for the Oberkommand West Germany, Deutschland. Here launching a fast and furious counterattack with the 111th Panzer Brigade, featuring Scavenge with Federal Salvage, Flak Panzer for Ostwins, Jaeger Light Infantry Recon Squads, Infiltration Tactics, and the Heart of Barrage and NightRaven Hill Raid Tactics on our Pathfinders, Airdrop Combat Groups, the M8 Greyhound, and M83 Cluster Bombs. Folks, Kuhwagen, Double Rifleman. As always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters to keep the Propagandacast going through thick and thin. So big thanks to all those, other people who join my Patreon. And also a big thanks to Andrew for donating and support the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. Big thanks to you, Andrew. So, off to the races we are here. Scavenge versus Recon Support here. Grab these then from the Sturmpion here. Kuhwagen racing out here to help grab points. Certainly on a larger map like Amilly Fields. So Kuhwagen is a very nice pick for sort of just, quickly traveling between the points and grabbing them. North here, we got the Rifle Squad sort of initially focusing east side, but apparently moving towards center. So, might plan to try and push for these 10 fuel point, maybe sort of force back Acehiro, but quickly changed tack there for, well, who knows what reasons. And going for a fast tech again. Some players do that with Americans, others, fewer though, will like some go for like heavy tier 1s with 4 rifle squads, but they typically tend to be in a minority. Could indicate he's planning to maybe rely on the airdrop combat group, since we're not, for example, seeing Iron R Pathfinders, which typically tends to be like one of the reasons players like, pick a command like this is the Pathfinders, but NightRaven here clearly has some plans of his own. We turn there halfway down the west side here. Oh, done, not done. Reasons there, basically grab at points, tank traps down, opposite of them, focus with sandbags. First shots fired here. Kuhwagen with the Sturmpion support catching right squad here by the calf point. Acehiro, I imagine, will go for third Fulsker squad here soon. And Acehiro here will have his lieutenant soon. Then probably going to looking at a 50 cal here. Might see a Steward rush, who knows. Third Fulsker squad there for Acehiro as expected. Lieutenant out there for NightRaven. Sturmpion pursuing the rifle squad there. Got the rifle squad recently hanging back there. And yeah, Lieutenant out there. So could go for 5th cal here, though we do see the mechanized upgrade first. So could even like be an M20 rush, but I suspect we're going to see a 50 cal after that. And then a Steward. But again, NightRaven could surprise us. There's always room for surprises. Lieutenant moving in here though, of course signaling to Acehiro that NightRaven's going for like a pretty fast tech here. Sturmpion also on health at this point. Yeah, Acehiro makes a very sensible decision, just retreat them, because at this point they're going to start dropping without doing much more damage. At which point, if you get them down slow, retreat them, get the medical supplies down, starting them up, then just preserve the manpower. So smart tactical decision there by Acehiro. And we do in fact get the M20 utility card here for NightRaven. Moving towards the car point here. Gonna catch that Kuhwagen and try to prevent Acehiro from cutting off his fuel supply here. There we go, looks like NightRaven nearly manages it. Reinforced, setting out again for freedom and democracy. The 6th Armored here's 111th Panzer Brigade keeps up the attack. We got a schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper there for Acehiro. Rear some draft squad attacking from the north. Grabbing the eastern fuel from the rifle squad. M20 almost done for NightRaven. Catching the Kuhwagen. Almost had it there. Fultz was there, being shot at as well. And of course, adding the armored side skirts there for a bit of extra armor and health, making just a bit more durable. We'll have to see that we actually start any mines with it. Like, most players never bother with these kinds of mines, so despite the ability to like immobilize the tank, which is quite good. Or just taking out a light vehicle entirely. But there you go, full squad with the M20 utility card, and I'll quickly route it. Listen versus the Fultz gonna do that. Got the ambulance almost on there for NightRaven. 50 cals yet though. And there you go, going in hard with the M20. And quickly pushing back those goddamn crowds. Eastern fuel point seized here. Acehiro here with the Battlefield headquarters up. Or on the way, could also call in a Jaeger squad. We'll have to see if he actually does that though. Most players typically will. They keeps raking in the damage. Interesting enough, he did not drop medical supplies and heal up the Sturmpunier with that. Instead, he went for the Panzerschreck. Interesting choice there, though. Though it seems like Acehiro there has been incredible. Like, they still don't suffer a single casualty. I feel like at this point he's going to run out of luck. And there we go. Thumbs up to NightRaven. Acting making use of raid tactics here with the M20. Quickly just decap a point and then grab it. Wonderful stuff there. Medics. Oh, going for the mechanized post upgrade first. Gonna follow up with the medics, I imagine. Skada. Moving on to the next point. Just messing here with Acehiro's economy. Raketna filling up the Acehiro. External field medics. West side of the Dresden push back with the Kugelwagen. And there you go, Raketna for ready. NightRaven meanwhile has got a 50 cal out there finally. Took a bit longer than I anticipated he would. We'll have to see what happens next. Still some time away from, say, calling in an airdrop combat group, which could be quite effective, obviously. Paratroopers, artillery, and there you go. We do get the medics for Acehiro and see 111th Panzer Brigade. The Panzer Brigades, for those wondering what those were very much late war formation that came about after Normandy and the losses of Operation Bagration. They were intended to sort of fight against the Soviets, but the vast majority were actually employed against the Western Allies, where they performed significantly less well. There's still a light tank there for NightRaven. M5A1, right squad, they're about to get hosed out. Medics there healing up the Sturmpunier finally. Also right here in the east. So far, NightRaven continues to exert excellent map control versus Acehiro. Not seeing any mines from the M20. I mean, some few mines here and there would, of course, be a pretty handy-dandy idea. But if he's got other plans for the munitions, I mean, obviously makes sense to preserve it, I suppose. But, you know, catching, say, a Panther IV, Panther, whatever, down the road with a mine like that and immobilizing it is pretty satisfying. Still almost done there for NightRaven, though. Freedom and Democracy so far. Really strong map control there. Just the strong usage of the M20. Raid tactics really allowed NightRaven part to get good map control in here versus Acehiro, though Acehiro is definitely hitting back here. Could see a wipe here in NightRaven. Rushing the M20, there we go. I think he was trying to save him. Instead, still suffers a wipe there, and at least he dodges a Panther fast on his M20 there. Great kill though there for Acehiro. Definitely puts him a bit more into the advantage infantry-wise. And could be the beginning of maybe a smaller comeback here versus NightRaven. We'll have to see. Of course, the 50 cal and the Steward now does present a bit of a challenge to that potential narrative for comeback here. So that's going to be a bit of a headache there for Acehiro and a half. Good shot from the Steward. Panther first off from the Steward light tank though. Nice response there. Kugelwagen heavily damaged as well. A bit of a rough patch. That said, he did get another wipe on NightRaven, which is now forced to definitely replace his infantry losses here because, you know, just the lieutenants and the echelons is absolutely insufficient. There's definitely, I think, one slip up here for NightRaven. There's definitely some slightly awkward call to a bad luck with his infantry, which definitely is going to cost him. Meanwhile, Acehiro's actually starting to call in more infantry, calling it a Jaeger squad here. NightRaven could go for an airdrop combat group here. Paratroopers. Bit of artillery here, not a bad idea. Certainly the paratroopers would be a formidable force of infantry for Acehiro to have to deal with now. And there we go, we do get the air group inbound there. Heading was the M20, pushing it back. Turn us the Jaegers and the Kugelwagen. Quickly routed. 50 cal there has to fall back as Acehiro keeps up the attack rifle squad on the eastern side. There we go, paratroopers landing in, and of course got a pack howitzer. West side here, Jaegers moving up, Sturmpunier and the Kugelwagen. No G33 yet for those Jaegers, and rifle squad on the east here. Being slowed around here with the German troops under Acehiro's command. NightRaven quick retreats there. We can see now again with all those heavy infantry losses, NightRaven really struggles with the map control now versus Acehiro, and Acehiro is just pushing the front line as far back as he can here versus NightRaven. Very good work there, and there you go. The Kedma Avalanche great on the Steward. Paratroopers westwards there. Sturmpunier trying to grab the fuel point away there from NightRaven. take out there for Acehiro. Schwere Panzer quarters. Sturmpionier here taking losses from the paratroopers and M1 carbines. Quick grenade there. I think he was trying to bait launch them into the grenade, but the retreat path the Sturmpionier took was clearly different from what NightRaven anticipated. That said, the M20 here rushing in should get out of here on Acehiro Sturmpionier. Jägerson can Panzerfaust and save them. So unless it gets very unlucky or lucky, depending on perspective, course of the player, the Sturmpionier should not survive. There we go, wiped. At least they didn't drop a Panzer Strike for NightRaven to grab and turn against Acehiro, but losing them will definitely hurt, and he will have to replace them. Schwere Panzerquarters, they're almost done. Could add some Obersoldaten. I imagine again the priority will be some replacement Sturmpioniere. Yesterday we got the Lieutenant Ralph Squad Liaisons, and of course the 50 cal catching one beleaguered full squad and sending it all the way back there. Paratroops kept the advantage in the west. M20 there grabbing the point. Could have used 3 tactics again there actually, but I guess he wants to preserve the munitions for some upgrades for his paratroopers. Most likely he wants the double Browning LMG upgrade there, which of course is a quite handy one. We do get Obersoldaten face it up. Upgrade yet for the Jaegers. I guess at this point he wants to save the munitions for the MG34. I could easily be wrong. Meanwhile, tech there for NightRaven. I imagine it is the major. Yes, indeed. A major move there for freedom and democracy. Pat Carter landing a decent hit there. Eastern fuel pump falling to the Americans. The west side here, paratroops getting steadily outmaneuvered perhaps. Closely caught with the M20. And another Panzerfaust there. In the center, rifle squad was the rear. Rakettenwerfer. Bit exposed there, honestly. Does easily push back by the infantry. East side also known as the lieutenant. We do in fact get the MG34. Upgrade there as a priority. Makes sense. It is quite good on the Obersoldaten. So why not? Yeah. Acehiro is still struggling. He's gaining a bit more pressure versus NightRaven, but map control is still not quite his. The 2 light vehicles from NightRaven continue to be a continuous thorn in his side, and there you go, major out for NightRaven. He could even go for another airdrop combat group, I suppose, but I imagine again the project is going to be upgrading these chaps with some more light machine guns. Yep. Will be a pair of Browning 30 cals, air cooled, and another out squad there for NightRaven. So no additional paratroop airdrops. Kind of shoots. Some nearby wood apart, but crucially doesn't hit the Steward. Also got on the west side, Kuvan also a bit back here in the center. We got a fresh push here by Acehiro. Small squad here advancing up there, pushing back the Americans in the center of the west side. M20 holding up here. Acehiro's forces quite easily backed up with the 50 cal. And the east side here we got another sort of potential clash happening. Now, the player really concentrating in any place at the front line. I mean, NightRaven has a bit more concentrated there closer to his base, but so far, neither player seems to really be finding gaps in the other players' lines. Paratroops almost got the light machine guns ready. I imagine NightRaven will be getting a bit more offensive once he has those light machine guns ready to really start raking through Acehiro's infantry. 20 rolling up again as well here. Eventually 6 kills. Rushing in into the Kednev for paratroops hanging back. Guess NightRaven forgot, or he's waiting for some signal there. The Kednev misses M20 though. Does not dodge the Panzerfaust, and so is at risk getting knocked out. Acehiro, despite everything, will be rushing on Ostmanti versus NightRaven. Bit bold here, to be honest. But at the same time, arguably if NightRaven fails to, get out some armor in time, the Ostman can do a lot of damage to him because the Ostman is quite excellent versus infantry. Well, relatively quite excellent. And we got raid tactics again here activated by NightRaven. Thumbs up. Good, but overlooked ability like most other types of abilities like this. But it's nice to see when some play actually makes use of that, really makes an impact on the battlefield. Obersoldaten score, not Obersoldaten score, but the Ostman is ready here for Acehiro. Not a lot were made, though, again, they're also very much late war. Typically, any Panzer Division or Panzer Brigade would not really had a lot of flak tanks anyways. Typically just the platoon's worth of them. And ours, again, primarily most self-propelled anti-aircraft guns in the German army would have been based off half-tracks anyways. In fact, in most armies, really. Got the paratroops here in pursuit of the flak panzer. Quite aggressive here, base here's flak panzer. Pack out been caught here. Artillery a bit out of bounds. Flak panzer there ripping through them. And there we go, NightRaven with the M43 Sherman medium tank. That is obviously going to be a bit challenging for the Ostwind. It is definitely not made for taking on tanks. Unless we're talking like very early war stuff. There we go, M20 down, NightRaven slipped up a bit there, and the M20 crew paid the ultimate price. 5th Cavalry on top of the flak panzer. Acehiro leveraging this Ostwind as fast as he can here versus NightRaven and the Americans. 111th Panzer Brigade striking for the Fatherland. Ops on Cody with the Stewart. Sherman right around the corner. Acehiro's going to need more Rakettenwerfers. More Sturmpionier that's replaced once he lost. Fine replaced. Thumbs up to that. There you go. Sherman out for NightRaven. NightRaven's map, side of the map is definitely looking a bit more like a patchwork. What's about to get wiped out. Losses piling up for NightRaven once more. Looks like the Major went down. And there you go, Rakettenwerfer getting the Sherman hit. Good shot there. Flak Panther ripping into the rear. Rakettenwerfer around it. You can see NightRaven just diving in with that Sherman. Decent shot there. Another Rakettenwerfer facing in response to the Sherman arriving there. No big surprise there. Due to the Ostwind, of course, he has no immediate chance of tanks, and he's going to need more than one Rakettenwerfer to take on the Sherman. Infantry forwards, and there you go, single Rakettenwerfer ready. You see the Sherman is going for it, there you go, good shot on the flak panzer, pushing it back. Northeast Stewart just hanging about, they probably intend to grab the point while repairing it, yes indeed. 288 versus 408, NightRaven still has an excellent victory point, either way not Acehiro so far here, absolutely outstanding work. Sherman engaging, hits the hedges, kills several squirrels, but crucially no Germans. Captain almost done here for NightRaven. 10 wing about here in the west for NightRaven, running to the Sturmpioniere. Looks like, yeah, gets the upper hand there. We can see NightRaven just retreats rather than trying to keep up the engagement. He realized that'd be a waste of manpower. Just defeat the German Sturmpioniere, a lot of experience. Sherman moving up here to avenge the lieutenant in his retreat. So we'll have to see what Acehiro goes for next. Jagdpanzer, Panzer IV, more Ostwinds. As for NightRaven, I imagine the captain means anti-tank guns, the M1. Something caught to the raft squad, the paratroopers out in the open, has to fall back rather steadily. And of course the pack carter there proves to be a big problem there for the opposite, and we're critically forced to get out of there. Black Panthers with the paratroopers there, unleashing hell upon them. Showing the mercy, showing them here for NightRaven, freedom and democracy. Okay, I'm standing around here. Almost got the Sherman. And there we go, Sherman somehow surviving all of that. Massive damage internally, I imagine, to the Sherman. Hey Sarge, you like these new ventilation holes? Those aren't ventilation holes, idiot. Those are German hits. Oh, yeah. That said, ventilation in tanks was actually quite important. Otherwise, you know, noxious gases from all the shells fire could actually build up in the tanks. And in North Africa, it also just help, you know, make the tank a lot less uncomfortable. Little fun fact there. West side we got the Jaegers as the captain. Ooh, grenade assault here, briefly considered, but halted, and the captain just forced retreat on the Jaegers, unable to match the sheer firepower of the captain at close. Rifle squad, paratroopers there launching assault in the center. The full squad here backed up the Ostman, though, are trying to form a defensive line here, but NightRaven is having none of it. His men in particular having absolutely none of it. The Fox is forced to retreat, and the Black Panthers are now in line of fire of the M1 anti-tank, and they're being pushed back. Looks like Acehiro will go for the Panzerkampfwagen. Fresh wave of attackers here from Acehiro on that center point here. We got 231 versus 108. We got the light infantry shots seen out here for Acehiro, bombarding NightRaven's position. Bomb grenades off here. Paratroopers suffering intense casualties, and they get wiped. That's quite the blow there to NightRaven. The manpower, the experience, and the munitions all gone there. Great killer for Acehiro, removes a significant threat on the chessboard. And there you go, Acehiro with a Panzerkampfwagen für Ausführung J. Black Panther is good to go again. We have fallen to 200 points. 200 points left here for Acehiro. Okay, quiet down. Radio spinning up. Coming westward sea, Panther 4. 2/3 way, there you go. Engaging the captain, but getting entangled with the Shem. Fortunately, the face here only firing high explosive shells, which won't do too much damage to the Ostwind. Kenner shoots, misses. Second volley, though, punches through the Shaman's third armor, once more leaving the crew feeling significantly exposed and uncomfortable. There we go, Panzerkampfwagen für Ausführung J here for Acehiro, and the German army in the center. We got the Jaegers holding out here east side there. Rifle squads advancing there for NightRaven's going to grab that eastern fuel point again. Second Sherman here for NightRaven, freedom and democracy. Jaegers moving back in the center. Also enough munitions for a cluster bomb, or fragmentation bomb. Oh, it's a cluster bomb, yeah. So called in the right time, it could be devastating. East side we got the Panther Force Lieutenant. Sherman is slowly arriving here. Could use the captain to supervise out the Sherman faster. Will have the empty dust that most players tend to neglect this ability, though it, I think, is fairly decent. Ostman there forced back. Close to Veteran 2 though, and an increased rate of fire. We got Jaegers boobies around the center victory point here. Rushing straight east. West side we got the folks of the Reations, got the Sherman on the move here for NightRaven. There we go, Sherman out here for him. So that is 2 Sherman tanks here versus the Panther 4 and Flak Panther. These rifles got pushed back by the Panther 4 here. Pin them up, machine gun almost done. Center victory point booby trapped here by Acehiro's forces. More booby traps certainly would be a bad idea. Straight for the car point here, Sherman up, pack howitzer holding back here. Caught up by the flak, the full gun is in the orbital garden here. NightRaven situation is looking once more a bit more dicey here as Acehiro charges ahead for the fatherland. Pack howitzer crew there frantically holding out at the pack howitzer. Like a cat dragging at some fairly ill-gotten gains. 5th gal they almost wiped out, and down it goes with a single high explosive shell there. Flak Panther the move again there, supremely close to Veteran 2 stood, gaining Veteran 2 itself. And there you go, Flak Panther engaged here with the anti-tank gun. Stood could actually go for it here with shell shock, or even crippling shot here. Doesn't happen. Sherman there caught up here with the kidnap. We got cluster bombs here on, I guess the kidnapper somewhat? I don't know what I was supposed to hit, but ended up not really hitting anything. And for those wondering, doesn't that just look an awful lot like the butterfly bombs? The answer to that is yes, it does. Because the Americans just straight up copied the butterfly bombs with that one. So go figure. Certainly wouldn't have been the first or the last time that during the war someone copied from someone else. Are they interesting in here for NightRaven? A rifle squad advancing straight into booby trap. Poor Carl there blows apart. Rest of the squad suffers quite badly for it as well. Another M1 anti-tank, and they almost out here for NightRaven. But good pressure on the victory points here by NightRaven. Acehiro's definitely struggling a bit to keep up with that. Flak Panzer's almost fixed up again. One advantage, not Acehiro definitely has over NightRaven, is the infantry advantage, though he does appear to be struggling a bit. I think fully leverage it here versus NightRaven. Panther engaging the Sherman. Good shot there for the side armor. Kenworth shoots, misses. West side, we got the Osprey up and getting the captain back up with the Sturmpioniere. Left side, they're seeing a bit of action center there. Is though where it remains most of the attention here between both sides. West side, there, NightRaven forced to fall back. East side, they're full scores with Rifle Squad. Sturmgewehr, K9 TKs versus M1 Garands. Back at center here. Panther 4 need repairs. Acehiro could certainly also benefit from some more armor, maybe Jagdpanzer or another Panzer 4 here. As for NightRaven, more Shermans wouldn't hurt, in particular if leveraged correctly, they could quickly overwhelm here Acehiro. 139 versus 319. Grab the center for this. A full Grenadier. Guessing it's going to be another Panther 5 A0. Another Panzerkampfwagen 4. Oh, he can't because he's got too many units. Now that puts that to rest then. For now at least. We got that own sanctuary repaired. The Eagles almost swapped down. There you go. Utterly exterminated. Single hit from the pack cards. It hits an already weakened squad retreat and utterly obliterates it. Leaving nothing but large chunks of Jaeger. West side there, Captain's about to run into the Osprey here. 9 kills, 32. 37mm flak fire ramming into them. And we got more orbs on here, phase it up. As for NightRaven, what is happening next? Who knows? Seems so far she's a bit quiet, a bit silent here. Perhaps trying to plot out his next moves versus Acehiro. 139 versus 302. There you go. Push up the center of the race and straight to the 50 cal seas for the Germans and the orbs are done. That is a Jaeger 50 cal of that. Anti-tank and Sherman, Stewart, Lieutenant Rascal on the west. It looks like NightRaven is planning a pretty hard punch into the left here against Acehiro. See if he can't overwhelm the forces there and then take it from there. Almost got the Osprey already here. Black Panther goes down. Excellent kill here for Acehiro. Heavy damage to the Sherman from the Panther 5C. So that's a pretty solid push there by NightRaven. Question, of course, is what happens next. We can see there, though, Acehiro's wing in for vengeance. He's got the Kenworth with the Panther 4 infantry wing in here. And we can see there, NightRaven clearly wasn't expecting that. But there you go, cluster bombs right into the counter-attack from Acehiro here. Looking to throw it apart here and force it back. There we go, cluster bombs falling down here. The Kenworth almost right out. All of a sudden, clustering wiped out as well here at Chaos here. And there you go, though. Acehiro, not to be deterred, keeps up the counterattack again. Panther 4 backed up with the Kenworth. There we go. Stewart down. Tanks caught in a bit of an awkward spot there. NightRaven frankly trying to get them out of there. But in the end, without sufficient inter support, Acehiro cannot keep up the assault. Up north, the Orbs, I'm going for the support weapons. Got the pack cards. Almost got the anti-tank guns here. It's quite hectic, quite chaotic here. And Acehiro seems to be somewhat thriving in it by now. Jackson there for NightRaven. Panther 4 in heavy need to repair. See, all of a sudden hightailing out of there. The damage has somewhat been done there to NightRaven. That's a fresh wave infantry there from Acehiro's base of the 111th Panzer Brigade. Sherman's being fixed up on the west here. Kenworth holding back. Jax Jackson almost down there. NightRaven on the assault again here versus Acehiro. 122 is 286. NightRaven looks like it's going to go in pretty aggressive as Acehiro. There you go, tank destroyer ready. What will Acehiro do? Panther 4, Yak Panzer. Will he go for a Panther now? He's also got the power to barrage off these Sherman charging in around to the gun lines of Acehiro. Another great hit from the Sherman. Got Artillery Strike called in here against Acehiro. There's, well, cluster bombs again. There we go. Nothing too critical at Acehiro. Ends up kind of being a waste of munitions here for NightRaven, honestly, on the west side. Jackson Sherman moving up here. Looking to outmaneuver there. Go OKW was ready for this. And Acehiro's tank destroyer there suffers quite grievously at the hands of... well, NightRaven's tank destroyer gets Acehiro's. There you go. Got the Panther 4. The Jackson's about to get knocked out here. Utter chaos. Utter pandemonium. Jackson tank destroyer down here. Acehiro could go for a Panther now. Suppose we're all trying to hold out for a King Tiger at this stage. Though I wouldn't recommend that. Almost got one on the Shermans here again. Can he line up a killing blow on that one? Kugelwagen destroyed. Panther face here to realizing they're trying to hold up for E. Well, King Tiger here obviously would be very silly. And there you go. That's another Sherman down here. A brutal exchange here. With rather significant losses on both sides. But in the end, the crucial element here is Acehiro's got still the infantry advantage over NightRaven. NightRaven, though, of course, does have a Sherman and a bunch of anti-tank guns. So, we can clear out the Panther and just keep the Sherman alive. You could still, like, deal with the infantry edge here from Acehiro. And the 14 was 284. Panther's almost on the Acehiro and the 111th Panzer Brigade. Salvaging the Panzer 4. Fuel. Got the Orbison advancing up here. Lieutenant Rapscorp moving in. Panther's almost on a phase hit up. Rapscorp, they're taking the hits and the Sherman strikes. 11 kills. Vecchi on the west side. Here we got the photos of the captain there. Panzerkampfwagen 5 mobilized here. Ausführung A. And the center there, Sherman that keeps at it. There's those Germans. On the west side here, photos of the captain who will win. Looks like the Volkswagen is nearly pulled through there versus America. Back at base here for Acehiro. Troop reinforcing healing. Got 99 to 184. Panther gaining the Pinamont machining gewehr. In the west side here, Volkswagen is on Darney of 8. Got the Sturmpionier moving up. Panther on the move here. Second Sherman there for NightRaven. Will he cancel it in the face of the Panther? Will he stake his course? Panther keeps up the pursuit here with the Sturmpionier aiding there with a bit of light reconnaissance. Sherman already down to half health. Anti-tank is being brought up here to try and halt the Panther here from Acehiro. Meanwhile, a fresh attack being lined up here in the center. Lord going for a slightly broader push here. I think without grenades, this is going to be tough to achieve, honestly. Or weapon racks, and that's also an element here lacking in NightRaven. Just no upgrades for his infantry, and not enough elite infantry, I think, to compensate either. Sturmpionier caught him in a crossfire here on the west side, going for the field point there. Got the Orbs on the advance here, forcing back NightRaven's infantry. Clearly not up for the task. Panther there being hauled back for some repairs. Could follow up with an Ostwind, another Panther 4. I suppose you could try and hold out for another Panther that wouldn't necessarily recommend. There we go, NightRaven surrenders. He's back against the wall. The German's coming down on him, and he's probably just realised he's kind of managed to like drop the ball a bit there by just having no upgrades for his infantry or enough like paratroops or something to carry through at this stage versus an opponent with, you know, a large number of heavily veteran Volkskandidates have been upgraded and the Obersoldaten. So there you go, GG. Game over. A victory for the Varsland, a loss for America. So I hope you enjoyed this match and learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. Consider donating by PayPal using the link in the video description, or if you're in the market for pre-ordering Communist theme, do the link in the comments. Use the code STUK3G as written there. I'll be off for now, but see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.